Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Michaela Peters. I'm here with my baby who is eating peas. We're gonna get ready and go to the beach. Not having a job is cool, but at the same time, the thing that I don't really love about not having a job is that, it's really hard. I'm taking Vital Protein, collagen peptides. Can I do an advertisement for this? My dad bought these for me from Costco. Shout out to him. Thank you. I should write my dad a thank you note for buying me a bunch of random stuff from Costco. That was very nice of him. Yeah, so you can't have that. Hey, these are for you. These ones stuff for you. Yeah, I'm just trying to stay with it in terms of consistency again with these videos. It's like my brain is too full of ideas and not enough time. But today's video is really going to be about, Americans care too much. And, what does that even mean? But essentially, I'm going to hint at, really, you can't just eat your food. One of the very interesting differences between Americans and Finnish people, which in my experience, I was making sure my phone was charging, is that, Americans, it's not that they care too much. They care too much about other people. And not in a, they actually care, in a, they care to criticize. And, this is really going to be what I'm going to talk about today. Honestly, my life has been pretty awesome lately. Why? Because there are no major problems. The only, problem I think about at this point is, my child's father situation, which is, a theoretical in the future situation, not a current problem. Why do I think about that? Right on cue. Because it's an unknown. So it's kind of tricky to know, what this is going to look like. And it's, you're kind of trying to, get ahead of it, but there's nothing you can do to get ahead of stuff like this, unfortunately, because I've realized you can try to think you're going to know what people are going to do. You have no idea. So I don't even pretend to guess anymore. I feel much more comfortable just being I don't know, and we'll find out later. Sometimes people surprise you in both good and bad ways. Anyway, so what we're doing, that was gross, sorry. The idea that I had for this video about talking about Americans care too much comes down to some discussions I had this weekend. I get constant criticism from my family. This reminds me of one of the roommates I had where she was what was she saying? She was my roommate had a friend, and the roommate was saying, the interesting thing about Michaela is that she likes to be criticized. And then the friend who was over says, well, that's a good thing because she's looking to continuously self-improve. And, I have probably told this story before. But the reason I bring this up, is because it's probably more of just, it's a familiarity thing for it, because, the problem is that I really don't is it's very easy to talk about doing things. It's very hard to talk about lots of things and execute doing all those things. And I'm a lot more of let's do execution. So I almost don't even want to have these theoretical discussions with people because I find them actually kind of emotionally distressing because it's adding to my laundry list of imaginary crap that needs to get done. In reality, what really needs to get done? Homeostasis. Does paying your bills need to get done? Yeah, if you want a place to live, that's kind of important. So beyond that, whatever. So the thing right now is me not having a job. I have lots of jobs. Unfortunately, this is a job. I have not gone back to work at the restaurant because it will interfere with my family leave, and that is a whole separate discussion. I've thought about whether I should do that. Right now I'm trying to start my business in Finland for real. Speaking of which, that was the one objective of today, is finish registering that. I've thought about trying to start a business here for my mom, but she doesn't really want to do it, so I'm probably not going to do that. And then I'm trying to think more about, trying to get, an online shop going for this channel, because for some weird reason I feel like people would actually buy stuff from there. But what am I going to sell? I don't know yet. So all of these grandiose ideas on top of taking care of a small child. lots going on. And for some reason, my family really has this like preoccupation with me working an office job. And obviously that is just to keep me local, which, as I said to my mother yesterday, my biggest fear is getting stuck in the US. Unfortunately, my biggest fear is not getting stuck in Finland. Which again is kind of why my family really does not want the baby's father's involvement. Understandable. However, we really need to think about what's best for the child, like the Finnish government does. So, yeah. But yeah, so they really want me to have an office job just so that the baby can, like, stay near them. That's very cool, but very selfish. And one of the bigger issues is really, like, getting childcare that's sufficient for that kind of setup anyway. And then it's like, well, if you're making more money, you can afford childcare. I'm not really sure, because I talked to a friend recently, and she's telling me that her baby was in daycare for $1,700. One child, not two children, and she has two children. So one was at school, and she still had to deal with the other one. Of course, raising a child is a privilege, as I often say. But the point is, you're not even really getting a break. That's what I'm trying to say. You're getting half a break, maybe. Cool, I guess. Okay, so, yeah, the office job thing, no. So, whatever. It's mostly my mom and mostly my mom's boyfriend, who really has a lot of opinions on my life for somebody who's not even categorically my stepdad. It's very interesting. Step-parents really like to have an opinion on their children's lives, and I don't really know why. Let me ask AI, why do step-parent, because I'm really curious, because what if I become a step-parent someday, and am I going to do this? Why do step-parents have strong opinions on their step-children's lives? Like, I'm, like, literally genuinely curious. Yeah, this is, basically what I spend too much of my day doing. And they're not even giving me the AI answer. Alright, so this is a good answer. The short answer is that step-parents develop strong opinions because they're trying to balance caring for a child, supporting a partner, and navigating a role that's emotionally loaded and often poorly defined. That's a good point. Being a step-parent is poorly defined. I agree with that, because, like, what are you? Are you a parent? Are you a friend? Like, you're not really supposed to be a friend because that's poor parenting. But at the same time, I think in instances where there's the missing parent, it's a little bit, like, more simplistic, but I think in my case, I've always, like, had both my real parents, like, very involved in my life, so that's where the step-parent thing gets pretty complicated. But, this also makes me think about, again, my own parenting, which is, like, I really just feel like I don't want to tell my kid to do things. I just kind of want them to figure it out. And I actually have one friend recently who told me that she's like, sometimes I'll go to my mom and be like, what should I do? And she'll be like, I don't know. I can't make this decision for you. And I'm like, yo, that's a good parent, because you are teaching your kid to be independent and autonomous. And that's excellent. So I aspire to be that one day. She's like making this choking face and then laughing about it. She's like, got him. Got him! Alright, anyway, so that's all cool. Yeah, but I don't know, like, going back to, like, the only person who really cares so much about my job stuff is my mom's, boyfriend, which, like, is really interesting because, so this guy is, like, legit very smart and has a PhD in something engineering. I think it's chemical or electrical, I don't remember which one. Man, I have some funnier stuff, but I'm trying to figure out if I should put it on here, if it's too, like, throwing people under the bus. I don't know. I was talking about the child's father's research, because I stalk it. It's an embarrassing fact about me. And I'm like, yeah, he did this. And he's like, that's not impressive. I'm like, come on, it is impressive. He's like, okay, fine. And I was like, yeah, anyway. So, still proud of somebody who did this to me. But anyway. So... No, it's just, what am I getting at with this? I think, like, people just think I'm way smarter than I am, and it's like, the problem is that people really need to understand, though, making a lot of money is not about being smart. It's not. It's cool that my child's father is smart, but this does not determine her success. How much emotional intelligence she has is actually the thing that influences whether you're going to make a lot of money in life or not. And, like, this is something that, like, people really should try to keep in mind more, because that's the truth. Like, you can go do your own research on that. Like, that is it. Because this is something I have a hard time with, like, in office settings, is that I'm, like, not good at social politicking, and this definitely influences my ability to make more money. So anyway, there's that, because, I mean, whatever, I'm trying to do more AI and how to be more savvy with that, but we're not there yet. And hashtag autism, like, let's not forget about that very important thing to keep in mind with why this is even more difficult. So, she's just doing things to try to get my attention now. She's like, you're talking to the computer, not me. Yes, okay. So, the one story I always tell is, like, when I graduated with my master's, my mom's boyfriend is like, you know, you should be shooting to make $200,000 to $300,000 a year. And I'm like, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a lawyer. Recently, one of my friends told me that she knows somebody who is in his mid-30s who is now making that. And he's like, this is too much money. I don't know what to do with it. And, like, dude, I agree. Like, you don't need that much money. To live comfortably in New Jersey, you need $107,000. Hold up. I looked that up years ago. It's probably more now. Let's ask AI. How much money do you need? So I looked it up in my particular county, and a family, which I'm technically a family, needs $113,000 minimum up to $155,000. That's kind of the range. So interesting. Okay, so cool. But yeah, making like $200,000, that's a lot, and to me that's like not necessary at all. And it would probably take a while to get there. Unfortunately, if you keep hopping jobs, you're supposed to shoot for like a 30 to 40% increase each time. So like that to me is very clearly like what you would have to do if your goal is just to make more money. And like, I think maybe once my child's in school, that would be cool. But like, you know, this again takes away from the Finland dream. So like, I really don't care if I have money to pay my bills and money to live. Like, I don't even need money to travel anymore. Like, I just don't care that much. Like, I just like to chill. Like, I don't know. I'm becoming a different person. I'll be honest. My life is great. There's nothing to run away from anymore. Like, there's just not. Like, there's just, like, there are no problems, no drama. If my greatest problem is, like, somebody asking me if I search for jobs, it's a pretty good life. Like, honestly, like, let's be grateful for a moment. Yeah, but, so, like, you know, they're trying to ask me about my job search, and I'm like, look, I'm letting the jobs come to me. I'm not going to them. They can come to me. And I had, like, one of my, NASA friends trying to recruit me for a job recently. She is throwing all her food on the ground. Why did you do that? And then she smiles about it. The reason I keep not showing her is because I feed her naked, and that just doesn't feel appropriate. Yes. Yeah, so I guess I should try wrapping this up because I'm running out of time to entertain my child. But essentially, people are really just, like, all up in your business. And I don't know if it's, like, just people have super high expectations for me. I did go to my cousin's graduation party, and literal random people, somebody who I did not know was like, I know about you through 3 different people, and, like, I know everything about your pregnancy. I was like, yo, I never want to think about that again. Like, don't remind me. And she's like, you know, you're doing an amazing job. Everybody's like, you're doing such an amazing job. I'm so impressed by you. Nah, 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 nah. And I'm just like, it's like, does not compute. It's like, on one hand, all these people who really know me are like assigning me tasks. On the other hand, all these people are like, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. And then it's like, I get this, like, mental image of, like, squiggly lines moving sideways, and it's just, like, what? That's kind of how I start to feel when things are confusing. So, anyway, I don't know. Like, I don't really know what the plan is. Somebody who works for Salesforce was trying to recruit me, and then I was like, this is somebody I know, like, personally, and they're like, go online and show me some careers. And then I was like, yeah, they have some in Finland, but they require fluent Finnish, so that's probably what I should be working on now. Should try to be making myself do a little bit of Finnish every day. Let's learn Finnish together. What do you think about that? You're so beautiful. Okay, yeah. So she wants to get out of here. Do you want to eat more food? What can I give to you? Strawberries? Yeah. I don't know. So the point is, people are really all up in your business, And is that just because I let people be up in my business? Not really. I try to not talk about, like, the job stuff because I don't want to think about it. I mean, I am thinking about it, but I don't want to talk about it, you know? And so then I was like, I also don't really tell you my plan because it's going to make my mom upset. And then my mom's boyfriend's like, I bet I can guess what you're going to do. And I was like, what? I mean, he didn't completely guess correctly, but it was a pretty good guess. He's like, you're going to just continue with your PhD at La Pedranza, become a professor, and live there forever. And I was like, hashtag life goals for real. That sounds excellent. I was like, yeah, but money. But he's like, but if you're a professor, money is not an issue. I was like, valid. And I was like, you know what? Thank you. That was a really good idea. And I think I might try to manifest that one now. I mean, dude, professors, my advisor is like not even ever in Finland. But I'm not supposed to say that. That's kind of a secret, but whatever. The point is, that would be a great job because I could just be everywhere all the time still. You know, I think this might be the plan. So, whatever. I don't really know what's going to happen, but my point is, everybody seems more emotionally invested in my life than even I am. So anyway, we're going to go enjoy a beach day because we can, because it's a Monday and I don't have a formal job. But I need to register my business. That's everything for today and why Americans care too much. Brought to you by yours truly, telling you about how everybody seems really preoccupied with me not having a job. Therefore, I better escape back to Finland pronto, where the unemployment rate is approximately 13%. In the US, it's only 4%. So there's the disparity. All right, well, thank you very much. And until next time, bye.